As we've traveled tap rooms and breweries across the Midwest to give you the story of craft beer, one thing I've noticed inside those tap rooms is a 50-50 split. Half the patrons tend to be men, half the patrons tend to be women, which is as it should be. But in the brew house, not as many women. That's changing though. We're here to celebrate the stories of women brewers, who are also known, by the way, as Brewers, on this episode of Brewed. You've lived there your whole life. To get a job at Goose Island, I mean, that's a big deal, right? I mean, people come from all over the world to work for that brewery, and you grew up there, so you know. I mean, you were there when it was just a place in, the original place was in Lincoln Park, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I definitely grew up on it. I think my first experience and taste was my sister's 5 years older than me, and I think I might have been 21. I forget the details. A couple back, but she took me to the Goose Island Street Fest they used to do near Clybourne, and we saw the Violent Femmes. And she got me one of their old. And that's like one of my first memories of Goose Island. So it's kind of a cool memory to remember that time you drank the beer and had a good time.
It's like that Juliana Hatfield song. You've got a cooler older sister who takes you to a Violent Femme show? That's fantastic. Yeah. So did your older sister have anything to do with you getting involved in the world of craft beer? How do you find yourself going down that path?
Well, I think definitely Midwestern Chicago roots. You kind of grow up as a beer lover, and then I got really into the beer industry. I was working at a beer bar waiting tables, and they had 30 taps, and they were always changing things out, international, local, and every day I came in, there would be like 5 new beers to try, and that's really what sparked this huge interest, that there's so many different flavors and stories. And then at that point I was like, okay, I've always been a maker. I'm a sewer, quilter. So I was like, I want to learn the whole process. I want to get my hands dirty. And then I got a job bartending at Dry Hop Brewers, which is a brew pub on the north side. And that is... I was bartending there, and then they were doing a beer on International Women's Day and asked me if I wanted to participate. And that was 2011. And that's when I first got inside in the brew house and got my hands dirty. And I really recognized that was kind of the experience that drew me in, and also built the confidence that I was like, oh, I can do this. I have a lot to learn, but this is something I can.
So 10 years ago, all it starts with is somebody inviting you in and saying, would you like to do this? That's how the whole thing starts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just like the access barrier. I had access, and they were like, come on in, try this out. And I felt really like welcome, supported. And then I just kept coming back, working for free, like volunteering in the brew house. And then it turned into a career.
We wanted to do, the show about it's International Women's Day and March is International Women's Month, and we wanted to talk to women in the brewing industry and kind of get their perspective on things. Although it is a little weird because it's not like, this isn't like the vote, right? Like, it's not like women have been brewing for only 100 years. Women have been brewing beer for 4,000 years. But there are still a lot of disparities in how women are paid and how they're viewed, and in some places, not Goose Island, how they're treated. Can you kind of share your perspective? Because I'm just a dumb guy asking questions at this point, Alison. Like, your perspective on being a woman who's in an industry that is dominated by dudes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I'm really lucky. I'm supported, and like I said, there was other female brewers when I joined, but at Dry Hop Brewers, I think it was 3 years I had worked on a beer for International Women's Day. And when I started at Goose Island, I had suggested that we also do National Women's Day. And that was 2017, and we had a blast. We built a lot of relationships. Goose Island's really large, where we have 3 different facilities. So you really don't always get to know people in other departments, work with them very closely. So it was a great opportunity to meet other people in the brewery, and then we had so much fun with that. Then we kind of created an internal group that we call Women in Beer, and with that we volunteer. We have like social outings. We usually go to a Sox game, team building, stuff like that.
You see yourself sticking around there at Goose Island for some time? Because honestly, what you've made it to the top, right? I mean,
Yeah, I'm really happy there. So I definitely see me staying around. I don't have plans on leaving right now, but I mean, you never.
well, let me ask you this: you're born and raised Chicago. They've got facilities all over the place. What if they say we need you to go somewhere else? What happens then?
I think I'll stay. I think I'll stay in Chicago. I love this city. It's, I've got a 140-year-old house I'm working on. I'm rooted here.
Alison, thank you so much for your time. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.